Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to do what I call an advanced repeat in Photoshop. This method is nice because it allows you to really build a repeat that is the way you want it to be. You can use half drops, you can zoom out and really look at how your repeat is working and make changes if you see something that you don't like. Open your scan or reduced color artwork in Photoshop. In order to make adjustments to reduced color artwork, make sure it is in RGB mode and do not merge the layers. If you're working with reduced color artwork, before making any adjustments to your motifs, make sure Nearest Neighbor is selected in the top menu bar when in transform mode. Considering scale and directionality of your repeat, create a pleasing arrangement of motifs, then determine what size you'd like your repeat to be. Make your canvas large enough to accommodate 3 repeats tall and 3 repeats wide, plus a few extra inches. You can do this by going to Image, Canvas Size, and then clicking on the upper left-hand arrow in the Anchor section. Since I want my repeat to be 6 inches by 6 inches, I'm going to make my canvas 20 by 20. At this point, I like to add a ground color so that I can see my blue guides better. To do this, create a new layer, then select all so that your whole area is selected. Then go to Edit, Fill, and here you can choose black, white, or your foreground color. From here on out, precision is important. Turn on your rulers and reset your 0 point. Using blue guides and starting about a ½ inch from the left and top edges of your canvas, create a grid of guidelines across and down your canvas. Guides need to be placed apart the exact measurements of your repeat. Remember to reset your 0 point so that all of your measurements are accurate. In my example, I'll put down blue guides at 0, 6, 12, and 18 inches. Hold down the Shift key as you're moving the guide, and the guide will snap to the closest integer on the ruler. You will now have a grid with 9 boxes, 3 repeats wide and 3 repeats tall. In order to create a half drop repeat, we'll need to place one more blue guide. In my example, that would be 3 inches down from the top blue guide in your canvas. Next, double check all your blue guides. Are they at the exact measurements you want them to be? Now, lock them by going to View, Lock Guides. Next, you'll want to group all of your motif layers together by selecting them all in your Layers panel and choosing New Group from Layers in the panel's pull-down menu. You're now ready to start creating your repeat. So you'll make copies of your motif group and you'll use your blue guide grid to lay them out in a repeat, working first down and then to the right. It's important to be precise when moving and aligning your groups. Make sure to turn on Snap by going to View, Snap, so that artwork will snap to blue guides. I like to think of it as the blue guides becoming sticky. Now let's start the process. Make copies of your motif group by dragging the group to the plus box at the bottom of the Layers panel. Using the Move tool with Auto Select Group selected, drag the new artwork layers straight down, holding the Shift key while dragging to keep them aligned. When the top edge of the artwork meets the next blue guide, it will stick in place and you can let go. Repeat this copy and dragging process at least twice so you can see your vertical repeat stepping out 3 times. You will now have a column of repeats. Next, for your horizontal repeat. In the Layers panel, select all 3 artwork layers in your column of repeats, and then drag them to the plus box at the bottom of the Layers panel. Notice 3 new layer copies will appear in your Layers panel. While the 3 new layers are still selected in your Layers panel, use the Move tool to move the whole column over to the right until the left edge of the repeat snaps to the next blue guide. If making a half drop repeat, also move the column down to the half drop blue guide. Repeat that process one more time and you'll now have 3 columns of repeats. Lock and dim the opacity on all layers in the Layers panel except for the very center group of motifs. Name this layer in the Layers panel Motifs. This will help you keep track of which layer you are editing. Make changes and adjustments to any motifs in just this center motifs group. Remember to change the Auto Select setting on the Move tool to read Layer. This will allow you to move motifs around without moving the entire group. Each time you've made a significant amount of changes and you want to see how your new repeat looks, you'll need to delete all layers except for your center motifs group. Use this motif group to again step out your repeat to 3 columns and 3 rows. Use this time to really analyze your repeat. Do you see any rivers or paths or gridding, striping that you don't want in your repeat? Because now is the time to fix it. If you see something you don't like, go ahead and dim out all surrounding motif groups and start working with your middle motif group again. Step your repeat out again, and if you're happy with it, save your file as an _working file. Now that we've saved a layered working file, we can go ahead and flatten all layers in this file. After this, we'll use the crop tool to crop to just the very center box in our 9-box grid. This box contains all the motifs that we need and is exactly 1 repeat. Be sure to save this file as a TIFF or a JPEG and use _repeat to remind yourself that this is 1 single repeat. Now let's see how you did. A quick way to check our repeat is to bring it into Illustrator. Select all by hitting Command A on your keyboard. Edit Copy, then go over into Illustrator. Create a new document, then paste your artwork in. Now drag that swatch into the swatches panel and make sure to change to a half drop repeat if that's what you've created. Next, zoom in and look around the perimeter edge of your repeat. Look around the blue line box to see if there are any errors. If there are any errors, you will now have to go back into Photoshop to your working file and check to see what the problem is. In many cases, it may be that your blue guides are off or that you forgot to step out your artwork again after making changes in the middle group.